Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of your favorite talk show, Bahrain Now, where we highlight the country's latest talents, initiatives, and talks. This Ramadan is all about delicious bakes and flavors, so stay tuned, we've got more coming up. Rangina is a traditional Bahraini dessert made up of dates, flour, oil, and nuts. But our next guest, Hassan Badr, is here to represent Rangino and their unique flavors. Hello, Hassan.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So tell us about Rangino.
Rangina is a traditional flavor known for Bahrain since, let's say, for 100 years ago. And it's made from dates and flowers and some also nuts.
It doesn't have any sugar, right?
No, it's sugar-free, organic sugar from its date.
So it's perfect for us who are trying to lose weight.
Sure.
So tell us about your best sellers.
Our best seller is this one, which is Rangina. There is in it a pistachio. It's actually date stuffed with Rangina. There's a pistachio, there's flour, almond, and pomegranate.
It looks very delicious and very
Thank
tempting.
you.
It's beautiful. And what do we have? What else we have there?
And this one is Rangina, same of it, but it's on flour and pistachio.
Okay, perfect. And what are your Ramadan flavors?
Our Ramadan flavor, actually all customers take Rangina with pistachio, and there is another flavor with agali, and we have also Rangina stuffed with Bahrain halwa.
The one with the agali, I think, is very interesting.
Yes.
So tell us, how do you, like you said, Rangina is a traditional Bahraini dessert, but you managed to add a twist to it. How is that?
We combined the modern and the traditional way.
Yes.
So we took the date and we stuffed the Rangina in it, and this is what inspired our traditional, how to make it in modern way.
Yeah, I can see even in the presentation, it's very beautiful and very modern.
Thank you.
So when did you start the business?
We started the business actually before 4 years ago.
And what inspired you to start?
Inspired us our traditional sweet, how to make it in a modern way.
Amazing, amazing. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Nothing like a delicious traditional Bahraini dessert. Don't go away, viewers. We'll be right back. They say life is what you bake of it. Let's check out what our next guest has to say. Layal Dana, founder of Lail Bakes. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about Lail Bakes.
All right, so Lail Bakes actually is my baby. It started off actually as a visual diary. I wasn't planning on creating it as a business, but people kept asking for more bread, and that's how it started. That's basically how it came to.
Exactly, people love bread. But can you elaborate more about, the diary thing?
Okay, so
Yeah.
the kind of bread I make is called sourdough bread. And I think over these past couple of years, a lot of people have been hearing the term sourdough, and they don't really understand what sourdough means. Sourdough is basically a mixture of flour and water, and that's it. And when you leave that flour and water to ferment at room temperature, it creates bacteria, and these bacteria become yeasts that rise the bread.
That is very interesting. So you don't add any kind of yeast to the...
I do not add any kind of yeast. I add my sourdough starter, and her name is
Okay.
Habiba.
Habiba.
And she's my natural yeast.
Okay.
She's my baby. She's been with me for around a year, almost 2 years.
That's amazing. That's
Right.
amazing. So is this the sourdough bread?
Yes, that's the sourdough
It
bread.
looks very delicious.
It's crusty on the outside and sometimes it actually smells like grilled cheese after I take it out of the oven. And then on the inside, it's really soft and fluffy.
Very interesting. I've never tried it before.
You need to try it. It's
I will.
really
I
good.
will. I'm taking that one home
Yes.
with me. So tell us, how did you teach yourself to bake, or did you go to school? When did it all happen?
Actually, I'm a preschool teacher, so that has nothing to do with my career. I've always been fascinated with the process of bread making, but it's a very intimidating process. And I think a lot of the audience probably, as they watch this show, they're probably going to think, oh, I can't make bread. Bread is so intimidating. So that was actually stopping me. And then one day, I think it was around 2018, I said, let me try it out. So I created my sourdough starter. To be honest, it failed. For months and months, it was failing and failing. I threw it out, and then I started a new one. And that was the one that succeeded. So I just want to say to everyone that if it fails, it's fine. Just start again.
Exactly.
So that's how it started, basically.
Exactly.
I was intimidated by it, and then I just grew really interested in it. I was reading a lot about it, and that's how it started.
I love the idea that it failed and then you tried again. People always get intimidated after failing and say, no, I'm going to quit doing this, but you didn't. And alhamdulillah, mashallah, it looks amazing.
Thank you.
So there is something I'm very curious about. When it comes to baking, when you're self-taught and you try to create recipes, you know, with cooking, it's very easy, but you can, you know, add up ingredients and so on. But with baking, there are some ratios that you have to respect. So can you tell us, how do you overcome that? I'm curious. I'm personally very curious, because I'm very intimidated when it comes to baking. I can cook, but baking, you know, no.
I mean, I was also really intimidated by it, and that really stopped me. So I completely understand. It was mainly two things. I was reading a lot of blogs and watching a lot of videos, which actually, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend it all the time, because it kind of intimidates you to start. Because when you go on those blogs and you read all those ratios, and there's things like baker's math and things that we just don't understand.
Very complicated.
Very complicated. So you just read about it and you're like, no, not for me. So basically, I did a lot of reading. And once I started my Instagram, actually, I met a lot of sourdough bakers in the Khalij, in Bahrain.
Very
yeah, there's actually a couple of sourdough bakers.
There's a community.
And they're really good. There's a small, beautiful community, and it's growing. And in the Khalij as well, in Kuwait and Saudi, and they were sharing with me different tips and tricks, and that really helped me make my bread better and better. So it's a lot about community-based learning, as well as just reading up a lot about it.
That's amazing. I love that people can learn from each other.
Absolutely. It's not a competition. We're all friends.
We're all friends. Well, sometimes it is.
Well, I try not to make it, because the community is so small, so you want it to be a community-based learning. You want to learn from each other and be inspired by each other.
Perfect, perfect. That's amazing. So tell us about your Ramadan flavors.
Actually, I've been taking a break this Ramadan.
Oh.
You know, Ramadan, I just want to dedicate it to rest and relaxation. I've been baking low-key for my regular customers, but not like I usually bake.
Well, that's understandable. So what are your future plans?
Oh man, future plans. Well, I'm keeping my options open, so I don't have a specific plan that, you know, that is completely set in rock. Maybe a bakery in the future, but currently I'm enjoying what I'm doing, baking from home and giving it to the people I love and my regular customers. I really enjoy that. So that's, for now, I'm keeping all my options open. That's basically
keeping all your options open.
Yes.
Yeah. And I understand that you have a collaboration with the food culture.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about that?
That was an amazing collaboration. So I was contacted actually by them in December, and they partnered me up with a fashion designer, and her name is Amal Rafi'. She's an awesome person. So we'd meet every single week, and our ideas would just merge together, and it was just such an organic process. And we always, from the start, we knew that we wanted to focus on how man has grown apart from nature. So we actually created a timeline from past to present to future. And in that timeline, we looked at Bahrain in the past, and I created these breads with dilmun seals on them, which was
so interesting.
It was fantastic. I truly enjoyed the process, but I mean, while I was doing it, I was completely stressed.
Of course.
But it was fantastic, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how bread was in the past, actually I even, because in the past they had these hand mills to grind
yes, I remember.
The flour.
At school, they used to teach us about it,
Exactly,
you know?
it's called al-ruha. So I actually went to Ali and I got myself one, which was a whole journey by itself.
Oh my, do they still sell them?
Yes.
Okay, that's
I mean, you have
interesting.
to really look and you have to really ask. But I got that and I milled my own flour to create this barley and date
Amazing.
loaf, which was fantastic.
Amazing. I
It
think
was fantastic.
I can speak for all of us when I say we're very proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So Layla, is there anything else you'd like to add before we conclude?
I mean, I just want to say that bread making is not hard. So if you're interested in it, if you want to look more into it, why not start? I mean, if you're going to fail, no problem. I failed for months and months. I remember my first, loaf of bread. I was so proud of it, but I couldn't cut into it. And even my 10th one, I was able to cut into it, but it tasted so sour. And even though it's called sourdough, it's not supposed to taste sour. But I loved it. I would eat it and be like, wow, it's delicious. So if you're interested, go ahead with it. If you fail, no big deal. Practice makes perfect. That's my main
Exactly.
thing.
That's what my mother would always say. If you've never failed, that means you've never tried anything new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
for
It's been
having
a pleasure.
me. Thank you for having me.
Viewers, we've got a lot happening right here in Bahrain Now. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And that was it for tonight's episode. I would like to thank you for joining us on another episode filled with amazing initiatives and talents. For more information, don't hesitate to reach out to us through our social media accounts shown below. Good night and God bless.